Welcome to World History Channel. In this video we will look back to history and review world's strongest typhoons of the 21st century. For more history stories and reviews, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get started. Number 1. Patricia, 345 km/h, 2015. Hurricane Patricia was the strongest tropical cyclone on record worldwide in terms of wind speed and the second most intense on record worldwide in terms of pressure, behind Typhoon Tip in 1979. With a minimum atmospheric pressure of 872 millibars (HPA), 25.75 in Hg. Originating from a sprawling disturbance near the Gulf of Tehuantepec, south of Mexico, in mid-October 2015, Patricia was first classified a tropical depression on October 20. Initial development was slow, with only modest strengthening within the first day of its classification. The system later became a tropical storm and was named Patricia, the 24th named storm of the annual hurricane season. Number 2. Dorian, 295 km/h, 2019. Hurricane Dorian was an extremely powerful and catastrophic Category 5 Atlantic hurricane, which became the most intense tropical cyclone on record to strike the Bahamas, and tied for strongest landfall in the Atlantic basin. It is also regarded as the worst natural disaster in the Bahamas' recorded history. It was also one of the most powerful hurricanes recorded in the Atlantic Ocean in terms of 1-minute sustained winds, with those winds peaking at 185 miles per hour, 295 kilometers per hour. In addition, Dorian surpassed Hurricane Irma of 2017 to become the most powerful Atlantic hurricane on record outside of the Caribbean Sea. Dorian was the fourth named storm, second hurricane, the first major hurricane, and the first Category 5 hurricane of the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season. Number 3. Wilma, 295 km/h, 2005. Hurricane Wilma was the most intense tropical cyclone ever recorded in the Atlantic basin, and the second most intense tropical cyclone recorded in the Western Hemisphere, after Hurricane Patricia in 2015. A tropical depression formed in the Caribbean Sea near Jamaica on October 15, headed westward, and intensified into a tropical storm 2 days later, which abruptly turned southward and was named Wilma. Wilma continued to strengthen, and eventually became a hurricane on October 18. Shortly thereafter, explosive intensification occurred, and in only 24 hours, Wilma became a Category 5 hurricane with wind speeds of 185 miles per hour, 298 kilometers per hour. Number 4. Rick, 285 km/h, 2009. Hurricane Rick is the third most intense Pacific hurricane on record and the second most intense tropical cyclone worldwide in 2009, only behind Typhoon Nida. Developing off the southern coast of Mexico on October 15, Rick traversed an area with favorable environmental conditions, favoring rapid intensification, allowing it to become a hurricane within 24 hours of being declared a tropical depression. An eye began to form during the afternoon of October 16. Once fully formed, the storm underwent another period of rapid strengthening. During the afternoon of October 17, the storm attained Category 5 status on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Several hours later, Rick attained its peak intensity as the third strongest Pacific hurricane on record with winds of 180 miles per hour, 290 kilometers per hour, and a barometric pressure of 906 millibars (HPA), 26.75 in Hg. Number 5. Irma, 285 km per hour. 2017. Hurricane Irma was an extremely powerful Cape Verde hurricane that caused widespread destruction across its path in September 2017. Irma was the first Category 5 hurricane to strike the Leeward Islands on record, followed by Maria 2 weeks later. At the time, it was considered as the most powerful hurricane on record in the open Atlantic region, outside of the Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico until it was surpassed by Hurricane Dorian 2 years later. It was also the third strongest Atlantic hurricane at landfall ever recorded, just behind the 1935 Labor Day hurricane and Hurricane Dorian. Irma developed from a tropical wave near the Cape Verde Islands on August 30. On September 4, Irma resumed intensifying, becoming a Category 5 hurricane by early on the next day. Early on September 6, Irma peaked with 1-minute sustained winds of 180 miles per hour, 285 kilometers per hour, and a minimum pressure of 914 hectopascals, 27.0 in Hg. Number 6. Maria, 280 km per hour. 2017. Hurricane Maria was a deadly Category 5 hurricane that devastated the northeastern Caribbean in September 2017, particularly Dominica, St. Croix, and Puerto Rico. It is regarded as the worst natural disaster in recorded history to affect those islands. The most intense tropical cyclone worldwide in 2017, Maria was the 13th named storm, 8th consecutive hurricane, 4th major hurricane, 2nd Category 5 hurricane, and deadliest storm of the extremely active 2017 Atlantic hurricane season. Maria was the deadliest Atlantic hurricane since Mitch in 1998, and the 10th most intense Atlantic hurricane on record. Total monetary losses are estimated at upwards of $91.61 billion, 2017 United States dollars, mostly in Puerto Rico, ranking it as the third costliest tropical cyclone on record. Number 7. Dean, 280 km per hour. 2007. Hurricane Dean was the strongest tropical cyclone of the 2007 Atlantic hurricane season. It was the most intense North Atlantic hurricane since Hurricane Wilma of 2005, tying for 8th overall. Additionally, it made the 4th most intense Atlantic hurricane landfall. A Cape Verde hurricane that formed on August 13, 2007, Dean took a west-northwest path from the eastern Atlantic Ocean through the St. Lucia Channel and into the Caribbean. It strengthened into a major hurricane, reaching Category 5 status on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale before passing just south of Jamaica on August 20. The storm made landfall on the Yucatan Peninsula on August 21 at peak intensity. It crossed the peninsula and emerged into the Bay of Campeche weekend, but still remained a hurricane. Number 8. Wilaka, 260 km per hour. 2018. The tropical cyclone originated from an area of low pressure that formed around 1,600 miles, 2,575 kilometers, south-southeast of Hawaii on September 24. The system tracked westward and moved into the Central Pacific Basin about a day later. The disturbance continued westward over the next few days, organizing into a tropical depression on September 29. Later that day, the system strengthened into a tropical storm, receiving the name Walaka. The storm then rapidly intensified, becoming a hurricane on September 30 and a major hurricane by October 1. The cyclone took on a more northward track under the influence of a low-pressure system located to the north. Walaka peaked as a Category 5 hurricane, with winds of 160 miles per hour, 260 kilometers per hour, and a pressure of 921 millibars, 27.20 in Hg, early on October 2. An eye-wall replacement cycle caused the hurricane to weaken, though it remained a major hurricane for the next couple of days. Number 9. Marie, 260 km per hour. 2014. Hurricane Marie is tied as the 7th most intense Pacific hurricane on record, attaining a barometric pressure of 918 millibars (HPA). 27.11 in Hg, in August 2014 and the 6th most intense tropical cyclone worldwide in 2014. The 14th named storm, 9th hurricane, and 6th major hurricane of the season, Marie began as a tropical wave that emerged off the west coast of Africa over the Atlantic Ocean on August 10. The wave tracked westward across the Atlantic and Caribbean for several days. On August 19, an area of low pressure consolidated within the wave west of Central America. With favorable atmospheric conditions, convective activity and banding features increased around the system, and by August 22, the system acquired enough organization to be classified as Tropical Depression 13E while situated about 370 miles, 595 kilometers, south-southeast of Acapulco, Mexico. Number 10. Michael, 260 km per hour. 2018. Hurricane Michael was a very powerful and destructive tropical cyclone that became the first Category 5 hurricane to strike the contiguous United States since Andrew in 1992. In addition, it was the third most intense Atlantic hurricane to make landfall in the contiguous United States in terms of pressure, behind the 1935 Labor Day hurricane and Hurricane Camille in 1969. The hurricane rapidly intensified in the Gulf of Mexico, reaching major hurricane status on October 9. As it approached the Florida Panhandle, Michael reached Category 5 status with peak winds of 160 miles per hour, 260 kilometers per hour. Just before making landfall near Mexico Beach, Florida, on October 10, becoming the first to do so in the region as a Category 5 hurricane, and as the strongest storm of the season. Thank you very much for watching World History Channel. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. See you in our next videos.